Don't overcommit? Got it, new friend, thanks for the tip. Worked at Big Co for a few years as a project manager and had some good strings of project delivery. My mangler arrives. Kilted. Bad news. Unknown PM got fired. You are taking over that HR delivery team. Crap. Being a BPM FH. I'd heard rumors about issues with some HR projects. But Big Co never fires PMs, so really didn't dig into my network to see what the deal was. Some poking. Paying for rounds at happy hours. Got the info that unknown PM had failed to deliver some functions that HR wanted. Okay, got it. HR director knows I'm coming. Sets up a meeting with their next level minions managers. Smiles. Team talk. Greater good ideas. Etc. At the end, as I get ready to meet the development team, officious minion says, "Welcome, Kilted. Let me give you some free advice. Unknown got fired for overcommitting on what would be delivered. Thanks for the guidance." Quote. And confirmed what Beer Money had told me. New project starts. We do requirements gathering. Each requirement gets assigned hours. Design, development, testing, unit, system, user, and some for implementation. Hours get turned to dollars, and then the business people, HR, need to assign a value to this requirement, building a business case. Costs X to do. Y value. X less than Y, then we do it. So we wade through HR functions and a few of the solve world hunger type requirements. World hunger doesn't make the business case cut, and we get the list of requirements. Requirement doc goes out for final review. But since this isn't my first rodeo, but it is a new corral, I create a document with everything that got cut. It also goes out for final review. I'm also clear that development will stop until both documents are signed off. People involved sign off both docs. Officious minion. Comments, this is a great idea. All projects should have this. Quote, old hands here can see where this is going. But for the new 10,000 I'll carry on. We are in the last week of user acceptance testing. Minor stuff. Team fixes and we flow them in. I get a call from the lead developer. Hey Kilted. Has filed a critical issue that we missed a function. Fine. What is it? And is it in the functional spec? We trade details. But the key one is it's not in the signed functional spec. I dig. Yep, it's not in the function spec. But it is in the functions that were cut document. Contact and go. Hey, the functions you want got cut in the requirements phase. We can schedule them for a future release. But we will need a business case. No, it must be in this release. I'm going to withhold approval until I get it. Make your team do it. Quote, team meeting. Is this possible? Murmurs of, here we go again, 8 weeks. Why does this always happen? Quote, dig around and find that pulled this the last 3 projects. They tried, failed, and unknown PM got fired. Got it. So we are all agreed that we can't do this and not jeopardize the release? Silence. WTF? Okay, so we have a choice. We either all agree we are not doing this. It's a really bad idea. Or you decide you can do this and you spend the next 8 days working around the clock. I'll back you up. And if you say no, it's no. I need a bio break. You all decide and in 5 minutes tell me what you want to do. Quote, less than kill video. Mute and listen. You think he can tell them no? Don't know. He's old and has been here for a while. Old? WTF? We can't keep doing this. Yay, my family is unhappy already with the hours. More chat back and forth. I come back in. Do we have a decision? Yes. We can do it in 6 weeks, that's not going to fly. So we agree. Next release? Yes. I set up a meeting with HR director and their team, along with the stakeholders for the project. I explain current status, the new requirement, and that we can do it. but it will be at least a 10-week delay. Goes. This is missing functionality that wasn't implemented. Needs to be in this release. Actually, it's in the cut functions list that you all agreed to and signed off on, as I pass out the page with the requirement highlighted. And each person gets a copy of their email where they go, "I agree." Frowns and goes, "Well, this is an error. I would never agree to this." Sorry. You did. As did all the people in the room. And you'll note that while we estimated the cost, there was no estimate of the business value. Well, the business value should have been followed up on. I did. And here is the email chain between you and I and your team about the status of this. Slide more. Papers around the room. Papers shuffle as they read. I continue, so no business value. Nobody opposed tabling it. And if you remember the first time we met, you said, "Do not overcommit." And according to these emails, push, shove, Russell, you and your team have tried to jam last-moment features into the last 3 projects and caused all of them to be either late or have systems issues. Silence as people read. Director goes, "Kilted," with the agreed to functions. Where are we? I need user sign-off and we are good to go. Fine. All of you get your sign-off to Kilted by the end of the day. Please come to my office so we can chat about this. We all nod and leave. Release goes live on schedule. Gets moved to special projects, which consists of reading the want ads until they are departing the company on new adventures. And Sanjay, the lead developer for this project and the prior 3, gets a surprise bonus for keeping an awesome email trail. OMG. I'm going to start a cut list of my own. So tired of hearing, the requirement was. No, Sharon. It was not. Here's your email. Makes things so much clearer. Thank you for your service. CYA isn't the cynic's way, it's the only way. Good on you. And again, the pearl of wisdom is, document everything and keep a hard copy with your personal files. Very nicely done, op. BPMFH, took me a minute, bastard. Oh, project manager from hell. My last 2 product owners have been Good project managers are worth their weight in gold for being able to deal with this stuff. Love it, op. I do this with my manager and director. The amount of times I've had to show them. Yes, I did inform you, and no, you did not reply as hysterical. It's lead to some pretty funny meeting with the Edo. Especially with the director, that is all about chain of command. I email manager asking a question. For approval. Or just as FYI. No response. Send manager reminder email. No response. Forward emails to director. No response. Send director reminder email. No response. Forward emails to Edo. Responds within 24 hours. And off I go. Manager and director email me asking why I went to Edo without consulting them. Edo is pissed. I threw them under the bus. Etc. Forward said email to Edo. CC director and manager and ask Edo if I've done anything wrong. Edo replies within 24 hours CCing director, manager, and Edo's boss that I've handled everything perfectly and will schedule a meeting with all of us so director and manager can clearly explain to all of us what their expectations are for communication, chain of command, etc. and so Edo boss can explain to the rest of us their expectations. LMAO. It's happened more than once, and no matter how pissed they get, they can't do anything disciplinary-wise or it will look like retaliation for following the procedures they created. Now, not only do I email them, I also text them so they can't say they missed it. Documenting what was shelved, in addition to what was agreed to, is absolute gold. Another entry in my file of, if it isn't documented, It didn't happen. Notes. We, read, me, needed a PM like you on my last client projects, 20 years ago. Great job. I always had an out-of-scope section in my signed off by all parties requirements document. I was very meticulous on making sure that included anything to do with those type of requirements people said they didn't want when I had a feeling they would change their minds as well as a general, anything else, writer. BPMFH? Who's Sanjay? Yes, it's so important to make sure that what is and is not agreed is written up and signed by everyone involved. It's crazy how often people try to jam in extra stuff. I pulled out an email one time that stopped my boss's boss right in his tracks. He tried raising his voice to me and I followed up with an email almost 8 years old. Hell yay. Save things because you never know when it can be used to shut someone up. Upvoted. I love this story and I feel your pain so much. Well played. Op. You lived one of the very rare times when you were there when you saw that hammer start to swing. Please come to my office. Sweet justice. It's so easy as a PM to be lulled into not documenting thoroughly on internal projects since everyone seems to get along. Then you run into an and you learn. I'm glad you got a bonus for the lead. He must have felt like you were the group's savior. Did you ever find out what OM's nefarious scheme was all about? Seems clear that he had a history of making sure these systems were never deployed. Why did you assume we'd all know what BPMFH means? Doesn't even show up on Google. Reminds me of how I got any realistic deadlines. I made my estimate, adjusted it by about 1.5 to take into account anything urgent popping up. Then my boss adjusted it up again to account for his thoughts on future issues. Then top manglement cut it according to their left heel, arriving to a bit longer than my original estimate, and I have learned that any conversation must be followed by emails and printed out. Or it just might be accidentally deleted. Reading this warms my black BA heart seeing the business shut down when they try to scope creep. Gah! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Flashbacks. I don't know what old means to you. But when I saw BPMFH, my first thought is, this person probably remembers Usenet. Well played on the documenting.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.